Welcome to Mind Your Business, a channel where we are in everybody's business. If you don't mind getting in people's business, you're on the right channel. Talking about current topics and gossip.
Well, we had Jezebel, Stale Belle, and Sour Belle. Now, the reunion had me cracking up. But Miss Latiesha, I feel like she is definitely queen of mix-up. Let's talk about it, people. Well, guys, people, Manchester Crew, let's talk about Belle Collective. Now, obviously, it's the reunion, and I felt like Aikisha handled herself very well, because within the first couple of minutes, it was just like, yeah, everyone's trying to come for her, and she handled them very well. She shut them both down, because I was like, Latrice, very disappointed in her, because I am someone who likes Latrice, and I don't feel like she has chosen the right side. Her going back with Latiesha, to me, was the wrong move to make, particularly based on what happened at the last reunion when Latiesha was ready to fight her. And now this season, I feel like Aikisha's correct. She has manipulated her. And now she's, throwing stones at Aikisha for what? Like I said last week, I don't think it was Aikisha or Willie's fault that the whole situation happened. That is Glenn and Cliff's fault. So it's their husbands. They're the ones with the husbands that caused the issue, and both of them are not taking accountability. So I don't blame Aikisha for shutting them both down and just saying basically they're happy to be back together again because they can basically back each other up, and they're trying to tag team her. But she handled them very well. I felt like she shut them down anyway. And I like that she told Latrice that she disappointed in her because she did actually genuinely like her, and she just letting herself be manipulated by Latiesha. And that's exactly what's happening. So I hope she looks back at this and thinks, you know what, I did mess up there because she chose the wrong side. I feel like she should have kept her alliance with Aikisha going. That was a silly move to make, because Latiesha to me is definitely mixed up, and I feel like Antoinette is correct when she comes on towards the end and says that, Latiesha is the problem. She did it before anyway in the season when she's in the episode. But I do agree that she is the problem, because she does seem like she is doing what she said in terms of, being nice behind the scenes, and then when the cameras come on, she's there creating issues, because she seems like she'll throw anyone under the bus. Now, I have liked her in the past, but I feel like this season she's definitely been showing her true colours. Now, I watched the Why Willie podcast with JJ, but in this episode, it was just Willie and Aikisha, actually. And she was talking about, her being upset about, them using the opening credit where she was shaking her butt, and how she asked them to remove it and they didn't do that. And Willie was saying that he felt like that was a bit odd because nobody else in the intros were dancing like that. And it was actually a point where she was dancing to music during a break. So it's like, why would you use that? And then she gets onto how Latiesha tried to set up Willie, Latiesha and Glenn. This is how much their bad mind wickedness goes to the point where they were trying to set up Willie to have somebody slide in his DMs. But obviously she found out about it because at the time Latrice and Latiesha weren't talking, so Latrice told her so that they were on the phone for about an hour chatting. And this was when, Latiesha and Latrice were not buddy-buddy, which makes sense as to why she said to Latrice, I'm disappointed in you, letting her manipulate you, because she knows that she's obviously putting out her behaviour before. So Latrice is the one who told her that, look, they were trying to set Willie up, and she said that, Cliff would even confirm it, but Cliff wasn't there when she was on the phone to her. But I believe what she's saying, because I remember at the start of the season, she did try and bring it up, but it looked like Latiesha just tried to brush it on the carpet and move past it. And I thought, what happened there? But they didn't really go into it. I feel like that should have got picked up at the reunion. I noticed that Carlos did not pick that up, and he should have done, because that's bang out of order. Because you see a happy couple, you want to come and destroy them. Just because your house is in a mess and your man was caught out here cheating, you want to make Willie and Aikisha look like they have some problematic relationship when they're just a happy couple. Like, why can't happiness just be shown and seen? So to me, Latiesha is doing a lot behind the scenes. She's doing a lot of wickedness, because for you to do that sort of foolishness, you and your man, you and your jobless man at this point, no, sort it out. Find yourself some employment, get your guy, coach him, sort him out, but redirect him, because this sort of energy is very toxic. So I don't really blame Aikisha and Willie for leaving the show, because what kind of co-workers are these? People who are just trying to ruin you and bring you down. What is that? Rubbish behaviour. Of course, if everybody watched Carlos King, Messy Mondays, you would have seen that Aikisha and Willie quit the show live on air, and that had me cracking up, because I was watching it and it was, I don't know what o'clock in the morning it was over here, but I was watching it and I was cracking up when I saw everyone's face just freeze. You've got Carlos King frozen, you've got Jazz, her mouth drops open. It was hilarious. And I do not blame Aikisha at this point, because look at the way that even the reunion was handled. I don't think Aikisha got a chance to say much besides those little bits where she had them up. And I felt like he kind of ended it there because his little favourite girls were getting had up. I feel like Colours King, although he says he loves the girls, it does give that he has his favourites based on the way you see him hosting. That's just my opinion anyway. So yeah, I'm not surprised, but I was disappointed that Aikisha didn't get much airtime. The time that she did get, she cleared them and she shut them down. But disappointing to hear that this is the type of stuff that Latiesha isn't getting up to in the background. And clearly Latrice saw what was going on, so she was obviously saying what she's got to say because she wasn't happy with Latiesha at the time. So I hope she's also watching her side eye, because if she can do that to other people, she will do that to her. And she really, was happy to nearly fight Latrice at the last reunion. So I think it's ridiculous. This is why Aikisha mentioned that, they're happy to be back together again, because they're both obviously chatting each other. But she did say she believed what Latrice had to say, and I believe it too. Marie, who I'm always calling bad vibes usually, I must say that this whole transformation that she's had, between her makeover and her getting baptised and all that kind of stuff, and obviously the horrible shooting that took place at her house, I feel like all of that has created this new version of Marie that is just not into the foolishness. So I like that, she spoke about what happened with her family and, not realising that they felt the way they did, but also saying that she's disappointed to see what's happening between the ladies because it's just not worth it. And I was like, not Marie being the voice of reason out here. What is going on? Okay, yeah, this version of Marie I like. She was also spoke about her surgery, because everyone's talking about her having surgery. She said that she didn't have no BBL. I still side-eyed that, but she says that she didn't have a BBL, but she has had her face, like, reconstructive surgery done on her face because of, dealing with lupus and all the implications that has. So I was like, oh, interesting. Now, Latiesha talking about she's had how much surgeries. I was like, oh, my word. I had no idea, because you cannot tell. Sorry, not trying to be rude, but just being honest. You cannot tell. When it comes to SoGucci, Selena, I feel like SoGucci was the one that was antagonising on the stage, and then it got into, the two of them going back and forth and throwing shade. And the way they started off sounded like it started off wrong, thanks to JJ not introducing them, but also thanks to SoGucci also, because how are you chatting about you're just too focused on being a perfect wife, you're neglecting your own children, and then your husband is also neglecting his kids. Like, what's going on? Like, what is that? You guys are bonding in bad parenting. Like, I don't understand that. But the shady part was funny, I must say. When Selena told her she really met her as a terrible stepmother, had me cracking up. And then when SoGucci's chatting about my shoes cost more than your house, I was like, Lord have mercy. These women, but they don't need to be going so low. And I feel like it's SoGucci that takes it there. I feel like Selena was keeping herself to herself, because even her saying, oh, what, you want to fight me? Like, she's trying to antagonise her. I didn't like that. I just felt like SoGucci, you're doing a lot. Like, you're already on TV looking like a bad parent. You've admitted that you've been choosing your husband over your kids. There's a segment that they showed, like a scene that they showed with her and her kids. I'm like, where was that? Why did we not see that? Did we not get to see that part of her? Because I would like to have seen her with her kids and having that conversation. But then he showed a little segment of that where the kids were like, accepting her apology basically. But clearly, she's got a lot in her own play that I feel like she should be focused on, and not so focused on JJ. You've got to make sure your kids are fine. So you can see that with Selena. Selena and her girls seem like they're very, very close. And I like Selena. I feel like she brings a nice warmth to the show. I don't feel like she just goes at her. I feel like she retaliates because SoGucci comes at her and she's thinking, what, she disrespected me, so I'm going to, get back to her. But you can tell that she's got a very close relationship with her daughters, which is really lovely. But you can see that she just wants them to be good with their dad. And I hope JJ does, sort this out. I know that he mentioned that he's lost his mum recently, so condolences to Selena. That was really sad to hear that she lost her son, which is why she wasn't able to come on Belle Collective when it first started, which is why she was saying it's thanks to her that SoGucci and JJ are on the shows, because she recommended them to Latrice, because Latrice asked her about them. So I thought that was interesting. Of course, SoGucci didn't want to hear that. She was all like, oh, well, I don't believe that. I just thought, SoGucci, honey, it's probably quite true, because you've got, Latrice here saying, yeah, that's quite true. So, it is what it is. But clearly, like Selena says, she's not a hater. So I get that from her. I feel like she's just okay in her own bubble. Truth be told, SoGucci, she is bothered by her. And I feel like that's her problem. She's bothered by her. And, that's her own thing. She's got to work that out for herself. I do think Carlos has a point in that JJ is definitely part of the problem, because he's keeping them away from each other, and he shouldn't be keeping up no foolishness like this at this point in time. But I also feel like Carlos was giving bias in his way of hosting. Like, there's certain things that he's saying when he's talking about JJ, I was a bit like, I think you're overstepping him out there as a host. You're stepping into counselling realms here, like you're trying to counsel the family and stuff. Like, no, you need to go back to sticking to the JJ's not here, so he can't say his piece, whilst I understand what he was trying to get out, because I do feel like JJ is a big component in this whole situation. I don't think some of the things that he was saying necessarily was his place to be saying it. I also felt like his handling of the mental health segment was a little bit like higgy-hagger. Like, it's like 1 minute he went to talking about what happened with Dee, then he went to Marie and saying, what advice do you want to give to her? Didn't give SoGucci a chance to really address that properly. I felt like it was a little bit, it just seemed a bit disjointed. Like, I felt like he should have handled it a bit more smoother, like got a bit more from SoGucci's point of views. But I just didn't feel like she got to speak properly on that. But I just felt like it wasn't handled as well. And SoGucci, to me, was just doing a lot of foolishness. It was just like she was throwing rocks and hiding her hands, because she kept saying, Selena wants smoke. No, she doesn't want smoke. You're the one who keeps throwing shade. You're the one who's got something to say. So I just feel like she's just projecting, and it's just ridiculous. And when she said that Selena was beneath her, that was disrespectful as hell. I was like, no, you're taking an absolute piss, woman. You're just projecting once again. You are jealous and you are bothered by her. Although you claim to have more in terms of monetary values and stuff like that than her. And I can see that. You can see that Selena's more up and coming than what maybe SoGucci is. But that doesn't make you any better than anybody. Like, simple. You're not better than anybody. It's just foolishness. I cannot stand people who think like that. I'm looking forward to seeing Antoinette, tear up Latiesha, because her coming at her talking about the enterprise had me cracking up. She doubled down on Latiesha being the problem, and being the problem with the collective, and she let it be known that she'd never ever wanted Glenn. We know this. I mean, come on now. I feel like the only person who wants Glenn is you, Latiesha. And the way she goes on, it just shows that, obviously he's put her through a lot, and she has her own insecurities, but that's her insecurities. Antoinette's over there. She ain't bothered about her at all. But she did crack me up when she was calling her out on her sly behaviour, and I agree with her. She does give that kind of vibe of she's like, in the background acting like she's all sweet and lovely, and then at the same time she will tear you down. We've seen her switch on. I've seen her switch on Tambra. I've seen her switch on Latrice, and we know she never liked Aikisha. She was just giving fake and phony with her. But she definitely hit a nerve, because the way she was triggered and coming at Antoinette and trying to act like she's unbothered, but she was really bothered, was funny to me. And I feel like production have dropped the ball on this, because they haven't shown Tambra and her problems where she mentioned she was dealing with postpartum. We didn't see any of that. When Carlos introduced Aikisha, he mentioned Miss Ferris Street Festival. We didn't see that. So why was we not seeing all these stuff? But anyway, we'll see what happens next week. I'm sad to see Aikisha and Willie leave the show, but I completely get why they would leave, because it's a whole mess. You've got Latrice and Latiesha trying to act like they are the big riggers and they can push people out of the collective, which I think is just ridiculous, given very petty schoolgirl behaviour. So I don't blame Aikisha going about her business. They're not really showing the productive parts of what she's doing. Right now, they're making it about mix-up. They haven't shown her. Beside them showing the building, which really looked lovely, we didn't get to see anything else about what she's doing. So I feel like now they're focusing too much on the drama. They need to blend in some more of the business of what's really happening. But yeah, I'll be sad to see them go, for sure, because I feel like they're a lovely couple, and I like the Willie and JJ dynamics, because I'm thinking, I wonder who else is going to exit. I feel like Carlos has an issue with some of his shows, because there's been a few exits. So you've had Stormy and obviously Courtney. They left Love and Marriage Huntsville. And before Stormy left, you had the Whitlows. So that was Tiffany and her husband. They left the show as well. And that was on Love and Marriage Huntsville. And over here on Belle Collective, obviously, you've got now Antoinette left the show before. And now is she back? I don't know. Or she's come back for this one. But then you've got now, obviously, Aikisha and Willie who have exited. So I do wonder who else, because we know there's been a few people complaining, like Marie, she's had complaints about it. If you saw my previous episode where I spoke about that, the behind-the-scenes drama, there's SoGucci, she's had her own little complaints as well about what's been happening on the show. So, yeah, it's an interesting time. Anyway, Of course, I checked out social media to see what people were saying on there. Here are some tweets that had me cracking up. Okay, so you've seen the tweets and you've heard what I have to say. Now, what are you saying about this show? Let me know your thoughts below.
Yes, so thanks for watching that. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and hit that notification bell so you know when I am uploading some more of people's business. So until then, my nosy people, stay blessed.